the crazy thing with this is you no longer need search. You could arguably say you no longer even need a website. So you don't need ads like getting in your way, because your sovereign agent is just going to go right around those to source. It wants something to scan the inventory on a website and give you the best price. It doesn't want to look at anything else. So cheapest, fastest, better, whatever. Red. And so your experience of the web is going to be conversational. You're going to be communing with the web and these agent-based systems through your sovereign agent. So that changes everything. And the really cool thing is, if you go one step further, and I've had the pleasure of getting very drunk with people at Farfetch and stuff, and you go down rabbit holes, but because these are real-time markets, they're dynamic, they can adjust. So unlike now, so let's say I have a flight I got to catch, but we run over today, or the flight's cancelled. Me or somebody else then has to fix the brake. And there's this cascading effect of, well, then my taxi's at that airport, or I've got to change the booking for the night, or like, can I get my refund back, or how do I put the claim in for the airline? Currently, you have to do all that, or your PA has to do all that, or like whoever. This system will know Jamie's late for his meeting, or the flight's been cancelled, and it will just reorganize everything else. By the way, here's your new itinerary for the day. So that's where we're heading. And I can't see any other way of that happening without Web3 infrastructure.
Okay, so those transactions will be on the blockchain.
They might be settled,
right,
on like the Ethereum network,
right,
but they might happen in side chains. Okay. So currently you've got these innovations where you can kind of batch transactions on what's called layer 2s or roll-ups, where you need high throughput, low transaction costs and everything else. You might also want privacy associated to that, so you don't want that on-chain. And this is the benefit of zero-knowledge technologies. It allows all of that. You can have all this stuff happen off-chain, off the main chain, and then the outcome is just settled on-chain.
And when do you think this actually starts happening? Time frame? We're kind of mid-23 right now.
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, if you'd asked me a year ago, I would have said a lot longer. But the dependencies to get there are less now than they were previously. Just even advances in large language models, the capital that's now kind of flooding into that. And the slow realization, what I think will be the increasingly quick realization is, this is just not all roads lead to Web3. So you'll go off on a few pathways, but like honestly, if you sat thinking about, we've been thinking about this for a decade, and okay, maybe there's some innovation we've not thought about entirely possible, but based on what we currently know, I can't see any other way of doing it at scale. And I think that realization will hit people very quickly. And look, Sam Altman's already building WorldCoin, so he knows about, it's not like he doesn't know about Web3. Yeah. It's interesting that he's still chosen to go down this kind of quite monolithic approach with AI, but try to solve for its problems, by the way, with a decentralized network. So we're going to disrupt all your jobs and the world's screwed. Give us your eyeballs, we'll give you identity and UBI. I don't have any equity in OpenAI. I don't need to, because I'm going to create so much of a fucking problem. I'm going to monetize what I think is the solution. The solution is decentralized, the problem's centralized.
Sound like a conspiracy theorist, yeah. Jamie. But it's an interesting point, and you're making reference to WorldCoin, which is this decentralized play that Sam Altman's a part of, that is going to help provide UBI once the AI takes all your jobs. Yes. He doesn't put that part in. And they do that by scanning your iris. I mean, this is like some James Bond.
Biometric data. Right. I mean, it's just, and what's worse is it's a form of digital colonialism, because where they're rolling it out first is Africa, India, and they're doing it by giving people free crypto. Give us your biometrics. We'll give you some free money. And I mean, just the whole, even the thing, let's just look dystopic. You're literally holding up an orb. It's like Stanley Kubrick's
Oh, yeah.
Open your eyes.
Wow. I mean, again, digital colonialism is something Yatsu has talked about when he's in here, and that's this concept that you know, we're giving our information for free, and then these networks are selling it back to us.
Yeah.
And it's something that makes reference to maybe what happened with the UK and India back in the day, where we would take their cotton and produce it over here and sell it back to them in these goods, and it's always being done by the more intelligent or more advanced people.
Yeah. But you know, so what's interesting is I spoke at a conference in The Hague. It was a general blockchain conference, and there was a guy that's been working on identity for a very long time, actually within the World Wide Web Consortium, I think it's WC3, on identity standards as protocols. So the argument is the web currently doesn't have an identity protocol in the way that it does, you know, for HTTP or SMTP. We need one for identity. And until we have that, and it's trusted, then we rely upon intermediaries to identify ourselves, to attest, to verify who we are, to make attestations about what we're doing or what we've got. And that's where you get capture. You get data capture, data extraction. And that's what most Web 2 platforms are predicated on. That's the business model. And it's been a great business model for them, right? And ultimately their goal is to be an AI company. Like if you're in big tech and you're not, everything else is leading to be an AI company. But the problem is, and this great presentation, I wish I could remember his name, I'm just awful with names, but maybe in the links we can kind of find it out. So he was at The Hague, and he said, look, you know, if you look at the country that was the most efficient in identifying and executing Jews during the Holocaust for the Nazis, it was the Netherlands. Because they had, at the time, one of the most sophisticated bureaucratic systems for understanding individuals, how they identified their religion, their race, everything else. Now, at the time, it wasn't done with any malintent. They were trying to understand immigration flows. Dutch, like the UK, were very kind of globalist in nature. But it was so good that when the Nazis got their hands on it, they were able to be that much more effective and ruthless. And so the question is not even, is Sam benevolent? It's like, whoever captures the company that has that data, are they benevolent? And so the big theme in the recent thesis that we updated is the open metaverse under attack. And one of those key things is the propensity or possibility of state capture of technological infrastructure and data. And that's, if you're sat in the UK, you might think, well, come on, you know, really, do we need to be thinking about state capture? You know, we don't really have that much of a culture of hardcore libertarianism, you know, maybe that comes to the West Coast in the US. But, you know, if you're sat in other parts of the world, it's a little bit more obvious. And, you know, if we've got to trust that a state, a given state, might not knowingly or accidentally, you know, open up this honeypot or use it for the wrong purposes. You know, if we've even got that concern, we have a problem. So we should be building neutral technology that can't be captured. You know, Bitcoin's, the premise of everything in Web3 comes from that. And so when you're looking at anything to do with data and personal data, and especially biometric data, like, you know, you don't want that to be near a private company because they will be captured and coerced. The bigger that they get.
Twitter files.
Yeah, and you don't want it on chain because, you know, then anybody can take that data and, you know, there's still genocide in Africa right now, you know, in certain parts of Africa, like right now. And so anything where you're going to put biometric data on, you know, for a free coin is just like bad design, poor design, and it's dystopic.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy.
The greedy bankers are about to do it again. In 2008, they crashed our financial system and nearly bankrupted the entire global economy. Then they received trillions of dollars in government bailouts. And after, they demanded fat bonuses paid for by you, the taxpayer.
It turns out the banks haven't just been screwing the American taxpayers, they're also screwing over their investors. Turns out the banking industry is the worst place you could put your money, despite enormous taxpayer bailouts.
Now the bankers are back to take away your financial freedom. They lie and tell you that cryptocurrency isn't safe. They try to make it illegal for you to choose how to invest your hard-earned money. They lie and say cryptocurrency is used by money launderers and criminals. But look at the record. It's the banks themselves that launder hundreds of billions of dollars every year to the biggest criminal operations in the world.
Leaked documents have revealed how some UK banks have helped criminals, money launderers and Russians under sanctions.
American authorities discovered that the Sinaloa cartel moved $881 million through HSBC accounts as bank officials turned a blind eye to the illegality.
The bankers lie and say cryptocurrency is not a real investment. Meanwhile, the smartest CEOs in the world are buying billions and billions of it. The truth is that banks lie about cryptocurrency because it makes them scared. The banks take $9 trillion per year of your hard-earned money, and they are worried that they will finally be exposed. They're scared because crypto means they can no longer control your money, which means they can no longer control you. They are scared because you might actually understand your money and intelligently decide what to do with it. Now is the time for us to come together, fight back, and take control. It's time to educate ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because financial education means financial freedom. We know that cryptocurrencies will help us build the new decentralized financial system of the future. A banking system that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A banking system where access to finance is a fundamental human right. A banking system that is free and fair and welcomes all humans on this earth. The DeFi revolution is happening. We, the people, can no longer be fooled. We choose to take control of our finances. We choose to take control of our freedom. We choose to take control of our future. Join us, and let's take back our financial freedom forever.